All right, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of Bears Film Room. My name is Dave, cover the Bears for SM, joined my good friend, co-host, Chicago Bears writer for sportsmockery.com as well, Ficky. And just like always, we have a pregame show for you. We're going to go ahead and preview Bears versus Lions. It's a Sunday,
Dallas.
3:25. Oh,
Dallas.
What did I say?
Lions, man. We got to move past that one, please.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that's how messed up they got me. Dallas Cowboys tomorrow, 3:25. Slot, Fox. I think we got Tom Brady calling the game. Is that correct?
Yep,
Is that what I heard? And it's going to be hopefully a fun matchup. A lot of scoring. I'm not sure if the Bears are going to be able to outscore Dallas, but either way, it should be at least kind of some fireworks on both sides for both offenses. But before we hop into that, we do have a couple items I want to kind of talk about. Eric, he wrote one yesterday on an article in regards to a ESPN piece from I believe it was Jeremy Fowler talking about Tyson Bagent. And I know a lot of us like Tyson. You know, obviously the backup quarterback is always going to be one of the more popular guys in town. But the piece he wrote was very, very interesting. So we're going to get to that here in a moment. And then, of course, do our preview for the Cowboys, not the Lions, the Cowboys.
Oh, please don't play them again.
We're moving on.
Please.
Yeah, we're moving on to Detroit or we're moving on to Dallas. But before we do, Fick, how you doing, man? I know it's been about a week? I think we went live Sunday, so about 6 days since we took a little bit of a breather. Let the ass kicking sit in a little bit. But how you doing, man? Have you recovered?
Yeah, I have, but like those first 3 or 4 days, it's just rough. Everything is about the Chicago Bears. And then when they're talking about them, obviously it's in most negative light for the first half of the week. And the funny part is that a lot of the conversation, like immediately after the loss or like the next day, is about Caleb Williams. And I'm like, sure, that's fair. That's your quarterback. He played better than the week before. We talked about this, yada, yada, yada. But then they'll reference like, this is why they lost. And I'm like, no, when your defense gives up 52 points, Caleb can't do anything to help that. So, and there's some data behind that we can get into the preview, but this defense, particularly the secondary, is pretty bad, which is kind of funny because we viewed it as one of the strong suits, and there's a lot of injuries, obviously, but for this defensive team. But overall, like, I'm past that. Definitely ready for Dallas. It's a winnable game. We'll see what happens. And then college football, we got some exciting games this weekend. My Indiana Hoosiers take on number 10 Illinois Saturday night games.
Illinois is number 10?
Crazy. Yeah, they're 10.
I like college football. I'm not like, I watch the big games, and I've
you watch
the
the
tape
big games. You wouldn't think
before the
Illinois
draft. But I could not believe I didn't even check the rankings. Anyways, that's wow.
Wild, right? Yeah. It's a weird time. You would not ever think an Illinois versus IU game would be like top 25 matchup for both teams, but here we are. Yeah. So all that to say, it's been a pretty good week. I am so ready for this Dallas game, though. I deleted that Detroit game out of my mind as soon as possible. But how's your week been? How you been doing?
Week has been great. I'm pulling up the college football rankings right now because someone said they're 9, not 10, and that's correct. Yeah. They're 9. Texas A&M. I guess so. It's crazy. But there was the week's been good. Watch the tape again. Rome Odunze, Caleb have a really, really strong connection. That's something that I really noticed. I posted the clip, I think, on Monday or Tuesday. It was about maybe a minute and a half of just absolute ropes from Caleb to Rome. Really good ball placement, and it was just impressive. I knew they had. It's hard when you get blown out like that. When you give up 52 points, you're just pissed off. So you kind of in the moment are like not really positive. But those two are extremely. They're just a dangerous combination, and this is game number 2. And so Rome and Caleb is something I'm going to continue to watch for, especially week 3. If you have Rome fantasy, start him because, this Bears offense should score a lot of points. Caleb should have a good week too. If he does, I think that's when you might be like, okay, what's going on? Because Dallas's defense is just like burnt toast. It's like Tyreek Stevenson right now. It should be able to move the ball on those guys. So, but overall, great week. The Bears game, I got over about probably easier actually than the Vikings loss, just because of how the perception of that one. You should have beat JJ McCarthy, and then he looked really bad on Sunday Night Football, right? He played Sunday night.
Yeah, he
McCarthy.
had like 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and then he got injured as
Yeah.
well. So it was a pretty brutal
Yeah.
showing. So
But yeah, I wanna get to, if you're okay with the fit, because we do have some questions about, like, Tyson Bagent. Why do we want to talk about it? Here's the thing. On our show, we do talk about almost everything Bears related. And this was a really, really hot topic. I mean, this article has gone viral. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN just brought it up himself. He's just kind of thinking out loud. I'll read it here. ESPN basically had some Tyson Bagent nuggets. Jeremy Fowler was the one that kind of dropped the news in his column. He said it appears people inside the building felt Bagent operated the offense better than Williams during camp. It doesn't mean a change is intimate. Johnson is willing to be patient, of course. And this is kind of what they went on to say. So Fowler, yeah, we hit that the Giants QB outlook hard last week. We hit the Giants QB outlook hard last week, meaning they just kind of deep dived into it. It's worth watching. Otherwise, the NFL's quarterback picture is pretty clear. So I'll throw 2 NFC North wildcards out there. The first is the Bears. What if the Bears' Caleb Williams doesn't find his footing in Ben Johnson's timing and rhythm passing game by, say, week 10, which I think he made very, very strong improvements last week against Detroit. Like, shouldn't really entertain it because he looked really, really good. But he went on to say, I think Williams showed positive signs last week in Sunday's loss to Detroit. But the feeling coming out of training camp was that despite Williams' otherworldly talent, the offense was a bit crispier with Tyson Bagent running the huddle. Is Johnson willing to be patient here? I think so, Fowler said. And Williams' immense talent is a commodity worth betting on. But these coaches feel pressure to win. A 3-year grace period no longer exists, and Johnson didn't draft Williams. Just thinking out loud, said Fowler. And so I say all that because it is interesting. I will say, I know Johnson didn't draft Williams, but he didn't draft Bagent. He did give him an extension, him and Poles. But I guess I'll let you go first, Vic. What are your thoughts on this piece? Because I have some pretty strong feelings that probably will align with a lot of our people in the comment section here in regards. I think it's just kind of crazy to think about right now. But
yeah, I mean,
overall, like I said, I do want to touch on it because it's just a big talking point, at least from ESPN's perception. And what are your thoughts on Tyson Bagent and this kind of backup quarterback fascination, I guess?
Well, I think there's probably truth in this, but the article or like Jeremy Fowler's take can be true, but the impact of what the article is can also be not as big as what you think. So did Tyson Bagent maybe pick up the offense better? Yeah, that could be a case, right? It's not impossible to think that maybe Tyson Bagent, processes better, blah, 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 right? That's fair to think about, right? He's a smart man. He's made in the NFL. He's made it this long to do that as a backup QB. That's some testament to the brain power there. So I'm not dismissing that. But we all know what Tyson Bagent doesn't have over Caleb is arm talent, okay? So there's 2 folds of any sport is your God-given ability, right? Your physical tools and the mental aspect. We know that the quarterback has a lot more to deal with mental at times, but physical is just as important. Patrick Mahomes wouldn't be the guy he is if it wasn't a lot for his physical tools. Let's be real. But on the flip side, you have someone like Tom Brady, where Tom Brady wasn't who he was because of his physical tools, is because of what's up here. There's no right or wrong way, but it's just saying, okay, well, if you had to lean one way, obviously, if you're looking at the physical tools, Caleb is night and day compared to Bagent. Bagent can't do half of what Caleb Williams can do, right, consistently. But maybe on the other side, Bagent's a little further ahead when it comes to being able to take in information, digest information, be able to, process and move quicker. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not calling Caleb stupid. That's not calling Bagent a genius. That's just, there's deficiencies from a human to a human. So I look at it in that sort of sense where it's like, okay, yeah, maybe Bagent does move the offense. He picks up things quicker, and that's totally fine. But at the end of the day, I'm not looking at Caleb and being like, man, this dude can't read a defense. It's not like this man's out there seeing ghosts like Zach Wilson like Sam Darnold on the Jets, right? There can be a truth in that, but the impact can be limited. So saying all of that, I still would want Caleb Williams, right? He had a better game from week 1 to week 2. When you look at his sample set of this year, the first 2 weeks versus last year, last 2 weeks, right? You look at those splits. I mean, of last year's first 2 weeks, it's a significant improvement in almost every category, right? Whether it's completion, his accurate throws, his ADOT, his, touchdown to interception ratio, his QB rating. This year's, he is starting off better than what he did last year, right? That's improvement. That's all you can ask for. A big one too that we looked at last year that was huge. His pressure to sack rate, where in essence, how many times are you it's your fault for taking the sack? Last year that happened a lot. Like 68 sacks, 15 of those plus probably fell on Caleb Williams. This year it's dropped significantly, which is great to see, right? Do you still want to drop? Of course. But I say all of that to be like, I don't understand this talk about Tyson Bagent, which is no disrespect to him, when the quarterback that you drafted 1 overall has been consistently improving when you look at a high level season to season, and when you look from a granular level from week 1 to week 2. Now we know every week won't be like that. No one just boom, 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 boom. There's going to be hills and valleys, but so far there hasn't been a valley, right? It may have started as a valley, but it's going up. So this talk about Tyson Bagent is just interesting to me because it doesn't really make sense. If Caleb Williams would have went out there and had like a JJ McCarthy game that we talked about last week, where it's 0 touchdowns, multiple interceptions, dudes taking sacks left and right, can't see anything, then this talk would make sense. But the man just played okay, right? Which is fine. He played better than what he did in week 1. So I don't know. The talk doesn't really make sense. But I know I just went on for a minute. What is your thoughts on the article? Or on Jeremy Fowler's, I guess it is an article.
Yeah. I'll say this. When Tyson had to fill in for Justin Fields a couple of years ago, I wasn't blown away. He went 2-2 as a starter. He did his job as a backup, and I'm sure he's gotten better, obviously. And the $10 million that they gave him, the extension, very, very happy for him. But at the end of the day, I think it's absurd. And there was a comment here that I think actually just on our YouTube account or our YouTube comment section that basically said that if Caleb fails, it's because then Ben Johnson fails. And here's the thing. I guess there's an avenue that they go down where I guess Tyson ends up being an insane pro, maybe Pro Bowl, all pro type quarterback, top 5 in the league. But that is slim, in my opinion, just because of what we've seen. And like I said, I love Tyson Bagent. I do. Great dude, easy to root for. I know Caleb is decisive in some camps, but for me, he's the generational talent. I know that we hate that term, but those throws, go to my Twitter, those ones to Rome are not easy, but he makes them look effortless. And that's where I'm saying if that comment where it's like, if Caleb fails, then Ben Johnson also fails. And I believe Ben Johnson can unlock him. It's going to take more than 2 games, unfortunately. And it's probably going to take more than 4. It's going to take half the season to really get this thing down. And I know there's a short leash on quarterbacks, but I think we just got to calm down a little bit. I enjoy seeing these type of tidbits, these news, these nuggets from the insiders. But for me, we're talking about training camp. Sure, maybe Tyson did have a better camp, but like talk about it then. Not week 2 after I know they dropped 52, the Lions on Chicago, but Caleb wasn't playing corner. He's playing quarterback, not corner. That's Tyreek Stevenson, who got bullied last week. I mean, every single big play was it not Stevenson in coverage, it felt like. And I like Stevenson. I'm rooting for him as well. But it's, for me, I think there's just so many factors that have gone into this 0-2 start. And Caleb, of course, played. He played better on Sunday last week. But I think we just got to give him at least more than 8 quarters of football.
The man's played 19. It's more than 8 quarters. The man's only played 19 full games in the NFL, and 2 of those have been with Ben Johnson. Let's give him a little bit more time.
It's the first overall pick stuff too. I get it, but he has 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, so that's 4 total. He has 1 interception. 417 total passing yards in 2 games. It's going to get better. And I think obviously this week
should help. Hopefully.
I think that it should be a 300-yard game, if not maybe a 350.
We're hoping so. Which we'll get to.
Like I said, appreciate Fowler. And I think we'll leave it at that in regards to the Tyson Bagent stuff.
Yeah, I think when you look at the issues of this team, right? There's a lot of them, as we know.
Yeah.
Caleb's not the number one. If it was that Caleb was number one, all of these talks are warranted, and that's totally fair. Until, if that ever happens, hopefully not. But if that time comes, then we can start to look back on some of this stuff. But right now, Caleb is not the top of the totem pole when it comes to why the Bears are losing so far. And there's a lot of reasons. So there's a long list, and that's why we're 0-2, and we got 50 dropped on us last week. But I guess we can leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good time to take our first break here. We'll be back. We're going to go ahead and preview the Cowboys game with just the overall game preview, our predictions, and what we do every pregame. So let's get take our first break, and we'll be right back.
First off, thank you for watching the BFR podcast, the number one show for the fans by the fans. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe, as it just helps our show grow and helps the algorithm get this show out to other awesome, amazing Bear fans like y'all as we're trying to grow this community. If this is your first time, also leave a hashtag New Face Gang in the chat. That's hashtag New Face Gang in the chat, and we'll give you a shout out before the end of the show. And if this is not your first time, this is your second time, you watched over 100 episodes or anything in between, then you are a true OG, and we want to show you some love as well. So please leave a hashtag OG in the chat, and we'll make sure to give you a shout out before the end of the show. Thank y'all for all the support for the number one show for the fans, by the fans, the BFR podcast. Now let's get back to the show. Bet.
All right. Yeah. So we'll move forward. I see some bees talk about Matt Eberflus.
Yeah, I saw that.
What did he do? I know he had a bee thing.
Yeah, he did.
Or, when he moved into his Chicago house, there was like a bee farm. I don't know what they call them.
Yeah, it's not the right term. I have to look it up. But yeah, he basically had a bunch of bees, and he would bring.
Did he just abandon them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm sure he didn't take them to Dallas. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
So.
Probably right.
I saw those comments too. I was like, this is wild.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. I know it's the 9 a.m. We're doing an early morning pod on a Saturday. We've come to like these, and I think we've got a lot of good feedback as to people just like waking up, talking Bears, drinking some coffee with us. So we appreciate it, Fick. Let's get to our first
let's get to the
slide.
Report. Yeah, the injury report.
I'm passionate about this one.
They put them both.
Be passionate
about the injury report. Yeah, it's never exciting news, but I'll let you.
I'm a little upset. Okay, so injury report for Sunday, tomorrow. We'll start with Dallas. Bland, the corner, Trevon Diggs, corner, both did not practice. I'm sorry. Bland did not practice all week. He is out. Diggs is full. He's going to be there. Gullen, the tackle, is going to be there. And then Turpin, the wide receiver, he was a full participant as well. So really only one person is going to be out, and it's their corner. Bland, is he a starter, Fick? I should know this.
Yes, he is.
Was he a starter?
Yes,
I thought so.
He's actually a pretty decent corner. He's the one who broke that NFL record last year for those.
Last year?
For the return touchdowns. Was that 2 years ago?
Him?
Yeah, that was Bland.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought, okay. Yeah.
So their starters are Trayvon and Duran. So I don't know who
right. Yeah, and he signed anyways. Bears, if you can see here, we got a freaking book. It's ridiculous. The Bears injury rate. Amagaji, he's out. His elbow, I'm not sure. TJ Edwards, out. Kyler Gordon, this is one that pisses me off. And I know it's not Kyler Gordon's fault, but he was questionable week 1. There's a comment here. And now all of a sudden, this guy he's missing 3 straight weeks. Hasn't even played a snap this season. Highest paid nickel in the league. I know he signed that extension, well-deserved. But it's like, can we get this man out here or put him on IR or something?
Yeah,
same with Jalen Johnson. Like, he's out. Why is he not on IR?
Yeah,
I know
Jalen
they're still doing some. I know they're doing maybe more research. Jalen, he went on, I think ESPN 1000 or maybe 670 score.
670, I think.
He talked about the injury, and he said he was still getting, getting evaluated, getting, second opinions, third opinions. But it's like, put this guy on IR. Like, he's probably done for the season. Jalen Jones out as well. So we have 3 DBs that are out. TJ Edwards, I think, is another big one as well. We haven't seen him in 2. Or he was here last week, right? He started a little
came
bit.
Back him and Jalen Johnson came back, played the first half, re-injured. Yep.
Yeah, DeMarco Jackson, linebacker, questionable. He was limited on Friday. DeAndre Swift, limited all week, questionable. I don't know how we feel about that. I know some people are like, oh, thank God. I'm a little nervous because our running back room is still questionable.
Yeah.
And Monangai and Roschon Johnson, we'll see. Grady Jarrett, this is good. Thank God. He is going to be playing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jade Walker is he was a full as well participant. So he has no injury designation for Sunday. So really long list for Chicago. And
you got 3 starters, 2 of them really all 3 of them the best
so
of their
pivotal.
positions. Yeah, TJ Edwards, our best linebacker.
TJ's better than Edmonds.
Yeah, top 5 linebacker in my opinion. Top 10 easily in my
opinion. His sideline to sideline speed is what I think we're missing. To be able to get to the edge, to set the edge or wherever. He just does everything you need in that defense. And without him, you just see there's a glaring hole that needs to be filled. And we can't do it with Noah Sewell.
Yeah, especially in pass coverage. Noah Sewell's been pretty good against the run, but pass coverage is definitely his weakness, even though I will say he's formidable. So shout out to Noah Sewell, because last year I was like, this guy looks like a bust. Not a bust, because he wasn't drafted high, but he did not look good last year. And so shout out to him for at least making the improvement from year 1 or year 2 to year 3, I think. So that's great. Or maybe it's year 1 to year 2. I can't remember. But the big ones are obviously defensive back. And we'll talk about how we fare against Dallas and whatnot. But, Deshaun Wright still, Tyreek Stevenson, kind of it. So good luck. Not looking great. And those injuries, all 3 of those injuries are long-term, it seems like. So fun. Anything else on the injury report?
Let me see here. No, it's just the same stuff. I wish Chicago would get healthy, remain healthy. And I'm a little, like I said, the DBs it's really concerning, just the amount of star power and talent that's just missing on our team. Not offensively. I think we're pretty lucky there, knock on wood, but defensively, that's why I told you there's gonna be a lot of fireworks this week, and a lot of people are predicting it. So bet the over on points, and we'll get to that later. But yeah, so we'll move on. Hate the injury report. Really starting to dread every single day when they post it. But
yeah, because it keeps getting longer and longer. All right,
it's crazy.
Let's get to our team overview here. You thought the injury report was sad. We have 6 footballs. We did have it like 10. We keep going down. This is what happens when you're 0-2 football team and you have so many injuries. But looking at this, what do you take away from the Bears side? Well, it's pretty easy. Look at that defense. It's awful. Pass defense is bottom 2-3 in the NFL. And right there with us is the Cowboys pass defense, which is just as bad. You talked about Tyreek Stevenson. I think you had a tweet about this, Dave, but I think QB passer rating against him is a perfect 158.3.
Yeah, that thing went crazy.
Yeah, so not great, right? Target Tyreek Stevenson, you're probably going to make a catch, get a touchdown, get some yards. And that's a problem, because I don't know if you know, but Dallas has Dak, CD Lamb, and this guy named George Pickens. So not great looking for us when you're comparing their offense versus our defense. I will say our offense has gained some football, so that's good. Passing, we gained 1, rushing 1, and then blocking has been serviceable. They've been like a top 18 for 2 weeks now, which is good to see. So it's consistent. They need to limit their penalties, which we've talked about, and we'll get into that. But on the other side, the Cowboys, look, it's basically, hey, our offense is really, really good. Our defense is dog shit. They're like us if our offense was really, really, really good. I think our offense can get to that, but their offense is already that, and their defense is basically the same as ours, where it's like you can do whatever you want to. I think Russell Wilson and team threw for 450 yards against Dallas last week, where they Dallas won in overtime on a field goal by Brandon Aubrey. So yeah, that tells you everything you need to know. And obviously we talked about Deron Bland is injured. He's out. So you should be able to dice up this defense. But on the other side, Dallas should be able to do the exact same. So it will be interesting to see what happens. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. No, I think we'll get more footballs offensively this week, just because of the stats we'll put up and whatnot. But again, for those that don't know how Ficky calculates it, is he goes through, right, you get all the stats from PFF from there, and you put it all together, and and you kind of put an average, and that's how you kind of get those footballs in regards to,
Yeah.
and it's all current. So it's just these 2 weeks, not last year, just this season. So as it progresses, that's kind of how it works. But love the team overview, but also hate it sometimes, most of the time, because I feel like we are just, right? Especially this dating back to all of last season, and then now the first 2 weeks, it's just been a little, been a little rough.
I think the last time we had more footballs than our opponent was the Panthers game, the Panthers game, which was forever ago, where we dropped like 30 on them. So right before the London game, it's been a minute. It's probably been a year plus, like actual time wise. But let's get to something more exciting. Let's get to the Vegas odds here. Let's see what Vegas says about this game. All right, so the spread actually has Chicago as the underdog. Now, this is shifted because I think earlier in the week, the Bears were favored 1.5, but I think it's flipped now, where now the Cowboys are favored. So, obviously, 1.5 means they still think it's going to be kind of a coin flip, a close game. And then the over, this is what you're talking about, Dave. The under over is 50. So that's 25 points each. And when we get to our predictions, you'll kind of see that we think you should probably bet the over. And then the money line on this one is not great for either team. I think it's negative 120 for Dallas, and it's minus 100 for Chicago. So again, Vegas feels like this is a coin flip game with a little bit of a hedge to the Dallas Cowboys. Dave, is there anything on here if you were betting that you would probably bet
on? Over. Yeah.
Over?
On
I
points.
Think so too.
Yeah, I would go over 50.5. I think Dallas alone will get 30 plus. I hope Chicago can get 30 plus, because I think we should be able to do that. And if both teams hit 30, that's 60. There you go.
One team is hitting
Dallas.
30.
I mean, say what you want about Dak. He could throw that thing, and
he's balling this year,
dude. I think they could probably get 40 points.
Well, we just
probably
had
50. Is the baseline.
We had 50 dropped on us, so it's very.
I'm not going to go crazy and be like they're going to drop 60, but there is a very high probability, in my opinion, where they drop 40 on us, and we have to score obviously a little bit more than that. We'll see, but I think it's an easy over, in my opinion.
Yeah, it doesn't help that Dak is looking like the shell of his old self, which is he's been balling these first 2 weeks, and he's going against a very easy defense to keep that hot streak going. All right, let's go into the key matchups, and then we'll have the keys to the game here. So key matchups, I think this one is kind of what everyone's been talking about, but it's Caleb Williams versus Matt Eberflus. Okay. And why I say that is not actually, they're not actually facing each other per se, but Matt Eberflus obviously knows the tendencies of his young quarterback from last year. Now, it doesn't mean Caleb hasn't improved and things like that, but he understands this guy. He was the head coach. He brought him in. He knows his personality. He knows all his ins and outs for 12 games last year. But on the reverse side, Caleb Williams also worked with Matt Eberflus. So he understands Matt Eberflus's zone coverage defense, bend, don't break defense, right? Who is going to come on top out of this? Typically, you'll see the advantage does fall in favor with the head coach. Obviously, he has way more experience as well, compared to Caleb, who's only been in the NFL for 19 weeks. Or for 19 starting games. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. And to be honest, this will determine who wins the game or not. Because if Caleb Williams can't score against his defense, as you talked about, Dave, the Cowboys are going to score against our defense. So Caleb needs to find ways, obviously not just Caleb, but Caleb, Ben Johnson and company need to find ways to be able to dissect that defense that isn't great on that end and take advantage of it to give themselves a chance. All right, let's see what you got here.
Yeah, I have Caleb versus Dak. I think it's just whatever quarterback plays better here, the Bears, that team's going to win. I think the defenses are going to struggle to stop either quarterback. And if I had to lean, it's probably towards the vet. Dak Prescott, like you said, is kind of playing like his old self, where he can just bombs away on teams as far as just 400 yards easy, right? I hope that's not the case, but I think whichever quarterback plays better, limits the turnovers. We'll get to our keys to the game, but I think it's going to win this one. Simple as that. Caleb, you're at home. I understand you're in your 19th or 20th start, but this is one where I feel like if he can maybe quiet the noise and get a Bears win, right? So, but I think that's the matchup to watch here as far as which quarterback is going to be able to outperform the other.
I think that's a fair point, right? I mean, that's typically how games come down. It's like, how well does your quarter? It's not the only thing, but the quarterback has so much impact on wins and losses. So, but I think that's fair. All right, let's get to the keys of the game. These are really important right here. And this one has been the talk of the town in Chicago. Establish the run game. I posted an article about this, also did a TikTok on Sports Mockery about it. But DeAndre Swift, man, we need you to play well. How the kind of talks of the town started on this was you saw that the Bears are number one in the league in yards before contact, which means that they're blocking well, giving running backs holes before they're getting touched by a defender. But the Bears are bottom 5 in yards after contact, and then also rush EPA and run success rate, which is telling you that the blocking is serviceable enough, but DeAndre Swift is not finding the right holes, or he's finding the right holes. He's getting hit and getting taken down immediately and not breaking tackles. And as we've talked about with this offense, Ben Johnson's offense lives and dies off the run game. You get the run game opens play action. That's where you get your explosive play. So we need to establish the run game early against this defense, which its run defense is better than its pass defense, but it's still not great. So let's establish the run early so we can make this game easier for our quarterback and for, the rest of the offense. Number 2, I'm stealing from you, Dave, because I know you've been saying these ones for the past 2 weeks, but it is still applicable. Pressure Dak Prescott. We've all talked about it. Everyone's talked about it. The pressure rate for this team has not been great. I want to give Montez a little bit more credit. He should have 1 sack. And so if he had 1 sack in 2 games, that's not bad. He's leading the team in pressures. His pressure rate's actually not that bad, but it's just not resulting in anything. And when everyone else on the line isn't really doing their job, Javon Dexter hasn't stepped up as much, especially last week. And then Dio didn't play well last week as well. It just looks overall, you kind of look at it and say, well, all our money's in Montez. So, this guy sucks. When it's really like, well, the whole defensive line is not really doing their job. Does Montez need to step up? Absolutely. But I don't think he's the main issue here. But it's still an issue. So we need to figure that out. The defensive line needs to start finding ways, or Dennis Allen needs to be, more creative with the way he's delivering pressures. And then the last thing on here is limit CeeDee Lamb. I know that's hard to do. This man is a freaking beast, top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. The Bears run a lot of press man coverage, I think like 5th in the league. Running press man against someone like CD is dangerous. Even someone like, why can't I think of his name? The other wide receiver. Oh, my goodness. Why can't I think of his name? George Pickens, sorry. Running press man against him, who's a deep ball merchant. Not great. And we saw how bad this pass coverage, the secondary.
Pickens.
Yeah. This secondary is bad, so I'm kind of wondering how much of DA actually sticks to that press man coverage, or is he going to play a little bit more conservative because either one of those guys can beat you deep. So those are my 3 takeaways. Establish the run early. Let's get some pressure on Dak, and let's just not have CD go off for a career game. So,
well, I mean, they limited Justin Jefferson without Jalen Johnson, and of course, Justin Jefferson still got his at the end of the day, but it wasn't like a historic 200-yard game, thankfully.
Yeah. But they did give up 3 touchdowns to Amon-Ra, which wasn't great either.
And J.J. McCarthy was throwing, not Dak. So
that's true.
Take that in consideration. But I like those fix. Let's see what I got here. I did not put pressure the quarterback because I did that 2 weeks in a row, and I'm like, I think it's just a given at this point. And unfortunately, I'm not sure if we're going to get it. But I will say Montez did have that sack last week, and I would feel a lot better if that was still on the stat sheet and it got taken away due to penalty. But I still want more out of him because he has 5.5 sacks over 19 games with Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of sickening, right, Fick?
Yeah. It's not great. Right. But he had an ankle. But he had an ankle injury last year, which is the problem. But yes, it's not great.
Fair enough.
You need more snacks.
Okay. Keys to the game for me: win turnover battle. Talked about this with the quarterback. I think whoever can limit interceptions, fumbles, I think that's just going to really help. Obviously, improve those odds. And secondly, stay disciplined. I'm looking at you, Bears offensive line, Bears players on the offense. Seriously, just do not. I swear, if I get 1 penalty in that first quarter, I'm gonna lose it. I just can't take it anymore. It kills drives. kills momentum. Every time the Bears do something great or well, I see that yellow flag just thrown, and I'm like, are you serious? It's ridiculous. So you get one this game. One undisciplined play, whether it's just a flag, false start, unsportsmanlike. It better not be that way. But just, please, God, I do not want to see 4 or 5 false starts like we've been seeing, especially here at home. Get that shit taken care of. 3, get the running game going. Did you have this on yours as well?
Yeah, that was my first one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know how they get it going, but just get it going. Kyle Monangai, we need him to really be the back that we think he can be or hope he can be. Same thing with Roschon. I'll be honest, he's kind of a disappointment since he's been drafted here. Like, he's a great goal line, get you that touchdown at the 1 or 2 yard line, but it's like, what else can he do that's like above average in this league as far as like breakaway speed, vision? He's not David Montgomery, and that's what sucks, because we should have kept him. Should have paid him exactly what Detroit did, or a little bit more, because I think he's actually a really, really good back. And now we're kind of, it's like when we got rid of Robbie Gold, you're kind of trying to find that replacement, and it's not as easy as you think. Running back is you usually can find somebody, but Swift has been, he ranked 42 out of 43 backs in the league so far?
Yeah, 25 out of 26 when it comes to EPA on those who have 25 carries or more. So it's not been great.
Yeah, get that shit going.
That was your guy. Yeah, and look, a lot of
and
season
I love Swift.
Change,
I thought this was going to be for me. It's just he can catch the ball. He's a receiving back, like on Madden, a receiving. He just cannot run consistent, and it's like he runs so fast into his guys.
Yeah,
and he does it without he does it with such conviction. I'm like, maybe he's seen something. You watched all 22. It's like there's not even a little bit of space that he can fit through. It's just Darnell Wright and Joe Tooney or whatever. It's just
there was one play that I highlighted in TikTok I did this week, actually yesterday, where there was a pitch to the left, and Joe Tooney and Cole Kmet are blocking their guys. Right now, normally on a pitch, you're trying to get outside, but the way they have them blocked is that those defenders have outside leverage. So because they have so much outside leverage, it's almost overcorrection. There's a gaping hole. So cut inside. Just cut inside. It's huge. There's no one there. The man dances and then literally tries to go outside Cole Kmet and gets tackled for like a 1 yard gain. But I promise you, if you'd have cut it up, it's easy 10 plus. And so stuff like that where you're like, okay.
It's like his instincts and the trust that he has in those. He just doesn't have it right now. It's like the yips or something. But it's almost what he's always been since he's been in the league too. So it's like at some point, this is just who you are.
Yeah,
so I may have been wrong on my.
Hopefully, can get. It's all right. Look, we can't predict the future, but hopefully, maybe new offense. He's understanding this zone type of defense. I mean, this zone running schemes. Maybe it just takes a little bit of time. The same way we got to give a little bit of time for other guys. Yeah. Let's see what it looks like week 10. If we still have that issue, then it's time to find a new replacement, because that type of runner will not work in this type of offense. So,
yeah. It really makes me wish we would have upgraded that running back position.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this offense is it's hard to be an offense without a running game. Play action, just getting you easy yards, or God forbid we're in a close game in the fourth, and just to be able to run it a little bit. Anyways.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Before we get to our bold takes, let's get to our second ad read here, and then we'll finish up with bold takes, and we got predictions and then shout outs and all the other fun stuff. All right, we're going to get back to the episode real quick, but I had to take a moment to pause and tell you about something awesome that we have cooking up over here at the BFR podcast, and that is our Patreon membership. You can join our Patreon, the BFR Den, where we have a bunch of great exclusive stuff that happens monthly, like monthly giveaways, private Zoom calls, mailbag episodes, and much, much more to come. I mean, we've got tons of features in there. We've got 2 tiers. We have our top tier, which is $10 a month, our Hall of Fame tier. What comes with that, which is very exclusive, is our private Zoom calls with our members. So every month, you're going to get a private Zoom call with me, Dave, and Jack, and we just get to talk about whatever, shoot the shit, football, life. It's a wonderful time. And then if you want to go to the lower level, we have our Rookie Grizzly tier, which is $3 a month. And what that includes is like the private Discords, the monthly giveaways, the free merch, all the events we have coming up, things like that. Access to exclusive merch that's only for our Patreon members, and any other cool features. You'll get that at the $3 level tier. And then with the $10 level tier, you will get the private Zoom call as well. Now, you can join for free. We do post our monthly calendars in there, so you can kind of see what we have going on each month. And we post our episodes there as well. So if you want to join that ongoing community, which we keep building up, please do so at the BFR Den on Patreon. Also, as well, we give a shout out to all of our Patreon members every single episode that we do. So if you join, we'll make sure to show you some love on every episode as well. So again, you can join the BFR Den on Patreon at the BFR Den on Patreon. And we just love the support. You guys are great. Shout out to all our Patreon members, and let's get back to the show.
Absolutely. I do want to also plug, I'm doing a giveaway, Bears-Packers, and I'm going to leave this up for a while, just the raffle. But it's just 2 tickets to the December 20th game. It's going to be cold as hell, but it's at home in Chicago. If you want to take a look at it, how to enter, just go to my Twitter. Simple as just liking the tweet. And I wanted to kind of plug that. Kind of forgot that I did that on, Friday or Thursday. Mm-hmm. So take a look at that on my Twitter. Also, follow all of us on our socials, especially the BFR Pod. TikTok, Instagram, of course, Twitter, BFR_pod is where you can find it. It's been growing, TikTok especially. So if you want more content outside just YouTube or Apple, Spotify, be sure to check out our socials there. So,
and then one last thing, join our Discord as well. It's free. A bunch of great stuff on there as well. A bunch of great chats live, especially during the game. It's so exciting in there. We have a bunch of contests. We have a fantasy league in there right now. We just like to give back to y'all in the community because, again, it's the #1 show for the fans, by the fans. So we're trying to build that up so that we can build the best fan base out there, bar none. So if you want to join the Discord, it will be in the description as well. Free to join. Dave and I are in there. Jack's in there as well. We have a good time. So thank you all for the support, whether it's on, YouTube, the podcast, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Discord, wherever it is. You guys' support, Patreon as well. It's been fantastic. So thank y'all.
Love it.
All right, so we got Dave. You'll like this one. We got bold takes, and
I know.
Preview, man. Your man's a little hot. So
last week, what did I have? I said
you said Rome
over 100 yards.
Yep, and he got it, 128 to be exact. So bold takes. You can see here. Look at this. You know what this tells me? Dave's not a Bears fan, right? Because we're aligned with the team's actual record, So that's the that's what I'm taking from it. I'm taking loss after loss. But yeah, Dave's leading the charge, 2-0.
Dude, I'm hot right now.
Yeah, he is. Me and Jack.
Come on now.
No surprise. No, you are. You're doing a good job. It's not. I wish your bold take was Bears would win though, because I'm like shit.
And it's not like they haven't been bold, bro. I said over 100 for Rome. Yeah. First week I said opening drive touchdown. And if you know the Bears, that's pretty crazy. They did it. Mm-hmm. Did it back to back.
No, they're fair. They're fair takes. I look back, I'm like, yeah, no, those are good. So let's get to mine.
I ain't pulling a Jack where I'm like Caleb over 200 yards.
10 yards.
Yeah.
My bold take is Caleb scores 3 touchdowns. It may not seem bold, but I don't think he's actually done it yet this season, because I think we've had a rushing touchdown in each one. So he hasn't actually had 3 touchdowns yet. This is the game where it could possibly happen. It doesn't seem that bold, but hasn't been done. So
with my luck, I hope this is the one to do it.
Oh, for sure. But with my luck, what will happen is Caleb throws 1 touchdown, we run for 3. So
is it throw for 3 or is it just scores?
Score. I need him to score 3. But my luck would be like we get down to the goal line and Roshan gets like 3 rushes.
Oh, okay. But if he runs in 1, throws for 2, that's 3.
We'll take that. We'll take that. We haven't gotten there yet.
Averaging, he gets 1 rushing touchdown a game.
Yeah.
So far. Yep. Mm-hmm. Caleb has 350. I think, this is the time. I think he's going to quiet a lot of people. At least maybe settle or steady the ship is what I'm trying to say. I think he's going to steady the ship, quiet the noise. It's going to be a big time game. Hopefully they win, because that's what's going to matter. Like if he goes for 350, 3-4 touchdowns and we lose, it's going to feel good, but it's still going to be a little shaky in my opinion as far as the media and everything goes. Not in this pod. We'll be excited, but
Fuck yeah.
Everywhere else, it could still be a
I
little
mean,
crazy.
we'll be pissed that we lost, but
I'm going
that's
for 3-0.
crazy.
Come on, Caleb.
If he puts up 350 and we lose, I'm gonna be like, dog, come on. But it's very possible because his defense is just
Dak could put up 450 though.
He could. That's what's sad.
Okay.
That's the worst part. Okay, let's get to our score predictions. This is the fun one. So actually, I'll just kick it off and then we'll talk about it. So we need to start doing that too. I think we're all been wrong, but I know I told you, Dave. I said that the Bears, I would not pick the Bears to win again, but I was looking at some data, some statistical data, some models as well, some predictive models, right? And there were some that were having the Bears to win. Not big, but it's a possibility. And I was like, you know what? Mm-hmm. Let me die on the sword. I think the Bears can get it upset. And another reason why I'm saying this is because of the urgency of this team. I wonder how big of a game this actually is with inside the locker room for Ben Johnson, because 0-3 is much different than 1-2. 1-2, you can win another game the next following week against Las Vegas. You're 5-5. I mean, you're 500 going into the bye. You're 0-3, and then now you have to win against Las Vegas, and now you're 1-3 going into the bye. A much different narrative within the locker room. I mean, maybe not within the locker room, but just overall, the vibes are completely different just from a difference of one win. And we look at this, and I always talk about this, but always look at the season as chapters. That first chapter is through the bye week. If you can end that first chapter at 500, good to go, right? Every chapter we're trying to get to 500 or better. If you do that for all the chapters, you'll have a winning record. So that's the first step. Let's see if they can do it. So I'm gonna, this might be my bold take, but the Bears win. Which we haven't seen in a long time. So
I know what our records are because I think I'm 1-1.
Okay.
I picked Bears to win week 1, picked them to lose week 2. What about you? Have you picked to win both?
I did the same. I know, win and lose.
Okay.
So I think we're
so let's keep track. Let's get another.
Yeah, I'll get at it.
It's like record predictions or something like that. So I'm 1-1, 1-1. I think Jack's 0-2.
Yes, because he had him picked to win both, I think.
I thought he did pick against.
No. I think he's 1-1 as well. I think he had us losing to Detroit.
We'll double check it.
We'll go back.
We have it on record, but we'll get that on the slide because it's like a competitiveness for me.
Someone's got to be competitive if the Bears aren't going to be. So
that's true. That's true. But let's get to mine. I said until they win, I'm going to pick them to lose every single game. I don't care who they're playing. They could be playing a CFL team. Until they win a game again, I will not predict them to win. And I'm sticking that here. Though. Cowboys 31, Bears 30 in a heartbreaker, man. Game-winning field goal or something like that.
Yep, that's what I was about to say. Brandon Aubrey
last second. Those. Yep, and this one's probably going to be from 64, and it's going to be a real spit in the face as far as like Santos not being able to hit at 54. But
these kickers are crazy, bro.
I know.
Can we talk about this one for a second? Sorry, before we end the show, but the Younghoe Koo. So everyone's like, "Oh, we should bring him in, right?" Well, look, shout out to Younghoe because his first, I think, 6 years in the NFL were pretty fantastic. He had a 3-year sprint with the Falcons where he was hitting 95% accuracy at a high rate, like back to back to back. He was one of the best kickers in the league, and he was hitting a lot of clutch field goals as well. I think he has like 8 to 10 game winners. So dude's a dog, okay? But he got released for a reason. 2 for 3 this year, which is not too bad. It's a small sample size, right? But he missed a game winner, which is huge. Also, last season, I think is the big determinant of why they let him go. The man was 73% overall. And just for context, the league average last year, because kickers are getting so good now, 85%. So he was severely below the NFL average. So the Falcons were probably like, okay, you know what? Maybe that was a bad year. Let's see how this year is. And he ended up missing a bad kick. And they were like, yep, it's time to move on because now the data is showing this is not an outlier. This is a trend. So I know the Bears brought in Jake Moody to the practice squad. He's younger, so maybe there's an advantage there. Younghoe Koo might be better. But overall, I know this is crazy. I would rather have someone who's accurate and can't kick deep than someone who can kick deep but is severely inaccurate. And that's what Younghoe Koo was, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're like, my guy can't kick deep, we just won't go for it, right? Or we'll go for it. We won't go for the field goal. But the other thing is like missing kicks. And let's be fair, that's not been Cairo Santos' mantra at all. He's known for making kicks.
Pretty accurate.
Able to hit the ones that are like 55 plus. So again, do we need an improvement there at kicker? But yes, but I don't think Younghoe Koo is that answer. Dave, what's your thoughts on what the Bears should do with that situation, or even with Jake Moody and Cairo?
I'm not on board with going after. Is it Koo?
Yeah, Koo.
Not on board with that track record. I know we've seen it with like Robbie Gould. I know we talked about him earlier, but similar issue where the Bears moved on. He went on to still have plenty of good years with the 49ers. So I guess there's a possibility there, but you probably stick it out with Santos the rest of this year. And I'm not saying you draft one, but you pour some resources into either looking undrafted, bringing in guys in. I don't want Santos to be the kicker next year. And that means you do your due diligence. You find the guy with a strong leg, with accuracy, and you get it done. Simple as that. Finding a kicker is a little bit easier than finding a quarterback. And I have faith, God willing, the Bears can just do that. And
at least
not
they have
use a 4th round pick either.
At least they have a history of finding kickers. They got Robbie Gould and they got Cairo. Like they've been both good, right? So they haven't done the quarterback part yet.
He just needs we just need something. We need a little bit more firepower from
for sure.
Power standpoint. So
these kicks are getting crazy, bro. Like these guys are kicking 60 consistently. It's
down the middle.
Right down the
10
middle.
10 plus yards to go.
Yeah, that 70 mark is gonna get. I know they technically already hit 70 with what's his name in the preseason. Yeah, with Will, but yeah, I think it's gonna happen in a game. It's gonna be wild. So anyways, I figured we had to talk about it because that was some news that came in.
Yep. And a lot of Bears fans thought about it. And I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like if they brought him in, I'm like, okay,
of course, yeah.
But for me, I just would probably, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, look, I'm not a kicking evaluator, but the data shows that Cairo's probably your safer bet, and I'd rather have safe than risky. But
but why not bring him in for competition right now?
Oh, I have nothing against that. Competition's great. That's what we want.
Tell you what, Santos misses any more.
Well, he'll probably miss.
I think you have
because he kicks at least 35 field goals. So if you're hitting,
he missed one in week 1.
He'll probably miss about 3 more. But that's fine. If he misses 3 more over the whole season by the rate he normally kicks, that's still above average. That's fine. But he can't miss more than 5.
But say if he misses 2 this week, I think you start seriously having conversations. So
the kicks need to be spread out so people are not like, oh my God.
We're not there yet, but we're close. Either way, I want to upgrade next year. So
cool. All right, let's get to the final portion of the show. We have our Monday headlines. And sorry, mine's kind of corny, but I love it. Monday headlines. Mine is Matt Eberflus because I have the Bears beating their ex-head coach, right, in Chicago on home turf. Hopefully, this is maybe a pipe dream, but this is what I'm hoping for. And let's be real, Matt Eberflus' side of the ball, even though they have no talent, he has not been helping out that squad. Again, they don't have much talent over there. I still think Eberflus is a good defensive coordinator. He was here in Chicago, but yikes, man. He doesn't have many toys to play with over there. So,
yeah.
All right.
Better than I don't. Let's bring up mine. It's very, very simple. Here we go again. It's that GTA meme, where he's walking out.
Yeah.
Here we go again. I see the Bears, if they lose, obviously you're 0-3. It's the same conversation we had week 1, week 2, where it's like the end of the world is here. Caleb sucks. Tyson Bagent chance. Ben Johnson, is he a fraud? Like those are the conversations that are going to be happening, whether we like it or not, whether it's Colin Cowherd, just national media, or your brother, your friend that you're talking in regards to just the Bears. 0-3 will be hell for anybody in Chicago, anyone that's a Bears fan. And you can kiss a lot of things goodbye as far as just optimism, because you gotta find a way to beat Dallas, beat Eberflus, and steady the ship, like I said earlier. Otherwise, it's here we go again. We're going to do the same things we did the last couple weeks, but it's going to be 10 times worse because you start 0-3. Every time we keep losing, it's just going to get worse and worse.
Yeah, they just stack
0-5.
on.
I say that, but if you're 0-10, that point, I think there's going to be a lot of numbness, and you're like, everyone's going to be like, okay, number 1 overall pick, that type of combo. But for me, steady the ship, get a win. If not, like I said, here we go again. So,
you know, it's crazy though, because when Ben Johnson took over for the Lions in his first year, they started off 1-6, and then they finished the season 8-2. So there is a chance that we have a tale of two stories here, which is gonna suck, especially if it is like a 1-6 start. You're just hoping by week 10, right? We keep talking about halfway through the season, the team, you have a better understanding of how this team is functioning. And hopefully this win will, maybe it doesn't have to go 1-6, but I just want to say that data shows that it's very possible with literally the same guy who's running this offense. So we'll see what happens.
There were some comments about earlier in the week where Ben Johnson said that they're gonna find out who wants some more reps on Sunday, and he kind of alluded to them. He just didn't like what he was seeing last week in regards to some of the players and what they were doing without the ball. Mm-hmm. And I'll let you read into who he's talking to. A lot of people thought DJ Moore, which I thought he actually, watching the tape, he had a lot of good effort. I don't know if it was him, but he basically was calling out the players, and he also mentioned and he said that what did he say? Essentially, our practice habits are yet to reflect a championship caliber team. And he was not joking. He was not smiling. There was no laughing. And I think that's the case. I think the Bears got to get tougher. They got to play tougher. And there's a comment here. They got to find out who's going to quit and who's going to give up on the season. You got to get them out of here. And so this Dallas game, you gotta find a way to really establish that culture and the identity that Ben Johnson said it's going to take a little bit before we find it. And right now it's a little uncomfortable because it's taking a little too long. You're week 3.
The problem is that last year was so bad, and the year before that was so bad that like our leash, our patience, which is totally fair for Bears fans, is like, dude, come on. Why do we have to keep waiting? But realistically, it's a new regime. You're starting from ground zero to build this thing up. It's going to take a minute, right? We saw this comment here, Plastic Rockets. Lovey went 5-11 in his first year. Obviously, talked about Ben Johnson went 1-6. You're just hoping that it's not the box score that you're worried about, the final score. It's how the team looks when they lose, right? For example, when the Lions went 1-6, their first 4 games, I think there's a comment here, they put up 140 points. Well, that's promising, right? You're looking, okay, well, we know our offense is humming. The problem is our defense is not, coming along. That's what we're hoping for us this year so far, because we know our defense has been decimated. So the positive side, or the more likely side of the ball that's going to look great, is the offensive side of the ball, which also aligns with your head coach. So you're hoping this offense starts to hum, and then we feel less, insecure about where this team is going moving forward, right? Because it's not a perfect team. This team was never a Super Bowl team. We thought it was a fringe playoff team, and we still think maybe that's a possibility, but it's going to start with this week. Okay, any final comments? We're going to get to the last ad read, and then we're going to do our shout-outs as always, our Patreon shout-outs. We're going to answer some quick questions, and then we'll head out of here. Anything on your end, Dave?
Nope. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. All right, before we close out the show, I got to tell you about some awesome stuff that we have cooked up on the BFRstore.com. As you can see here, we have hats, hoodies, mugs, stickers, a whole bunch of fire stuff, and we're always working on new creative designs. Maybe jerseys coming. Yeah, who knows? But you can check it all out at thebfrstore.com. All the proceeds from the merch store just goes back right into the show. And plus, we want to give you fire stuff because we want to look fly all the time, and we want y'all to look fly as well. So if you want to support the BFR show, go to thebfrstore.com. We appreciate all the love and support. Now let's get back to the show. Yes, sir. Before we get to the shouts, we do have one voicemail that came in 3 days ago. So we're going to play that real quick from Fletcher. Thank you for sending it in. And also, you can send in voicemails at any time. It's free to do. We play all of them on our shows. You can do it down here, as you see in the orange box, speakpipe.com/thebfr podcast. Also in our Discord, the link's in there. You can do it from there. Multiple ways. You can check our socials, but it's free. You just get your phone, you hold a button like you're recording a voice note, and then it gets sent to us. So let's get to Fletcher here on the voicemail and see what he has to think. I think this came in like 3 days ago.
All right, so I've only been watching the Bears for 4 years, ever since Ryan Poles became manager of his team. Because I'm only 13, but besides the point, seeing all of these other teams in the league like get new stadiums, they're getting their quarterback, they're figuring stuff out with their team, they're actually making the playoffs. I'm just starting to wonder, like, when does like the change that we're expecting over every single offseason come into effect? Like, this is mind-boggling to me. The amount of games I've watched the Bears play in 4 seasons, by the way, where I can just list off how many times we just sold the bag is mind-boggling. Like, I genuinely can't see how Ben Johnson, by the way, if you didn't hear me again, Ben Johnson is putting Olamide fucking Zacchaeus on the field instead of Luther Burden and Colson Loveland. I can't witness this anymore. Like, why is DeAndre Swift just running 2 yards into the fucking center every single damn snap? I don't know what to do. I don't know. Like, Tyree Stevens said, "You fucking suck." That's all I gotta say. The Bears fucking suck.
Yo, couple things. When he said I've only been watching for 4 years, I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy. Then the dog says he's 13. And then someone said the comment, "You can change now." 80s band kid, I think, on YouTube says you can change now, which is hilarious because you can. The man's going through it. Potty mouth at 13 because of Chicago Bears football.
Yeah, your parents better not hear that.
Yeah, hopefully they're not fans of the podcast. That's hilarious.
So we had the one. So we had a viral TikTok, YouTube, really, and even I posted on Twitter last week. A 21-year-old called in.
Yeah,
Ben, and he said, 21 years old, and went out probably the best voicemail we've ever received. And it went viral. It was really fun. You got to watch it, listen to it, like I said, on all our socials. But that one, it does remind when he said 13. I mean, guys, Ficky and I'm 28. Vic just had a birthday, 32. 32. So we've been watching this team for over a decade plus. Guys, Easy. It does not get better right now. And I'm not going to be the guy. There's plenty of people that commented, "Hey, you have no right to complain if you're only 21. I bet there's going to be similar comments about if you're only 13 and you can change, like you said. Don't change, though, obviously.
Can I say this, though, Dave?
Right.
Can I say this? I feel like we got a little bit of better treatment because when I was 9, it was 2002. And that was right before the Bears started to get good in like 2003. So that's not when I first started watching the team. I think I first started watching when I was like 6, 1999. They were okay, whatever.
But I don't remember. The only thing I remember Bears-wise from there is very similar to the Super Bowl.
But think about that's kind of your formidable years. You're getting from 2003 to 2009. Lovie Smith. You're getting.
But don't get me wrong. Rex pissed me off then too. I remember people upset with him because he would just have such bad games. The defense or Devin Hester would bail him out. So, But yes, getting to the Super Bowl, even the Jay Cutler years, I felt a little not spoiled, but they had moments. They had moments, and then you get the 2018 year. So it's
really for
doses.
These kids, these young kids, I feel bad for you because you guys don't get anything. We had at least like 6 years or so where there was something, right? It really didn't suck until like Jay Cutler's last year, 2013. And from 2013 till now, other than 2018, it's been awful. So if you started watching since 2013.
But the good news is, theoretically, there's a high percentage where the Bears should be good for an extended period because that's how most franchises go. They have typically a streak of good seasons back to back to get, together. They can do that if they make the right moves. So, hang in there.
Yeah, good luck, bud. Hey, you can always come here to the vent session with the Bears Film Room podcast. So we appreciate that. We'll make sure to keep you aligned and not make you want to jump off a cliff. So, okay, let's get to the shout outs real quick here. So we got Devin McGovern with the hashtag OG Bear Down. Thank you, Devin, on YouTube. We have Rudy Pfaff the fourth. I love the hashtag OG in here. Always in here. We got Justo here on YouTube with the hashtag OG. Shout out to you, Justo. And then we have Plastic Rockets as well. said hashtag OG, bear down, trust the process, and happy belated birthday, Ficky. Thank you so much, Plastic. Appreciate it. Thank you for hopping on the show. Let me see if they're up. Speaking of a young guy, we got Kyler Villagomez in here. I think might be you. I thought Kyler was the youngest one of our group, but I think you just got beat out there, Kyler. So maybe you need to talk to your boy to make sure he's all right over there. So shout out to you, Kyler. We appreciate that. And let's see. I think that is it. We have a couple of quick questions we'll go through rapid fire here, Dave. Oh, actually, let's do score predictions. We got some of them in here. We got Cannon on Twitter says 30-3 Bears. That's crazy. Bear the F down. I appreciate the positivity. Let's see here. I thought we had some other ones. We had Cream, who obviously posted earlier, but said Bears win. Shout out to you, Cream. Then we got 80s Band Rock, who's the one who said hang in there, kid. On YouTube said Bears win tomorrow 31-21, man. Okay. Well, that's awesome. And let's see if some questions here. Brennan Towery on YouTube said, serious question. Do you guys hate Caleb or what? Do you even entertain those rumors? You're making Caleb's life worse. That must have been earlier when we were talking about Bagent. I can speak for Dave on this, so I'll make it quick. No, we do not hate Caleb. We believe in Caleb. Caleb's the guy. We don't entertain those rumors. We just talk about reports that came out from respectable people, like an employee, a big employee, Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. So this wasn't like just a mom and pop's article that came out of the left field. So we had to talk about it. Chad on Facebook said, no defense. Where's the defense? Chad, I wish we knew the answer to that, but we don't. His defense has been bad. Oh, sorry. I missed you on a shout out here, Scott. Scott on YouTube said, what up, squad? Hashtag OG. Like my second time live. Love the show. Appreciate it, Scott. If it's your second time, you're an OG in our books, and we really do appreciate the support. And then I'm Worm Food. What a name. Love it. Said on YouTube. Also, can someone find Montez Sweat? We kind of briefly talked about this. Can Montez play better? Yes. But is he playing awful? No. I think both of those are true. He's leading the team in pressures. He should have 1 sack in 2 games. It got offset because of penalties. He needs to win a little bit more one-on-one matchups, but he's getting double teamed a lot or chipped. So there's that. And then I'm Worm Food as well to end the show here said, you guys willing to entertain a DJ Moore trade? I love DJ, but with Burden in the pocket, he might be worth moving for a DB or running back. I'll give mine, and this one I actually want to know your take, Dave. I say no. We've talked about how this is a young quarterback. You want to make sure he has all the weapons as possible. Like the whole point is to find out if Caleb Williams is the guy. I don't think DJ is bad. DJ's not bad. Just because he hasn't gotten as many reps because Rome is looking really good doesn't make DJ bad. So I would say no. And I don't think Luther Burden is caught up yet enough with the playbook or the trust in practice, which can come over time. But I think because he's not there yet, I'm not just substituting DJ out for Luther. Let's not act like that wouldn't be a major drop-off. But your thoughts?
I would trade him. I would. The thing is, it's not just Luther. There's a lot of weapons on this team, and not all of them are getting fed. It's just impossible. Rome is taking a huge, huge leap. He's going to be wide receiver 1. I was kind of wrong. I thought DJ may have one more year of being the top dog, but I think Rome and that connection is too strong already. DJ, his value is as high as it's going to be. I think, obviously, he signed that big deal. I think if you get rid of DJ, which I don't want to, if the Bears were contenders, and maybe they still will be, but if they're like lighting the world on fire, then of course you keep all these guys together right now. But for me, to be able to grow Luther, to grow Colston Loveland, Zacchaeus, obviously he's a vet, but Luther Burden, I think he can, if he just gets more opportunities, which Ben Johnson talked about trying to get more Luther. He's already been kind of making leaps and bounds as far as his progression, and he feels like they can trust him a little bit more, and he's almost there. And so for me, you trade DJ, not just to trade him, but if there's a deal that comes along where a team either reaches out to you around the deadlines, like, hey, we'll give a first round pick, we'll give a high second and maybe a fourth. I think you think about it because of one, the contract too, right? You're getting rid of that, and on top of that, you get some. If you get a high pick for DJ Moore,
yeah, I
think you got to entertain it.
For sure.
And sometimes I think the Bears, they've drafted offense the last couple of years, and I think it's almost doing a disservice to some of these guys because Luther, if he came into this offense and it was just Rome and Zacchaeus, Luther would be a little bit more involved right now because DJ took a lot of reps away, and he should. He's a veteran. He's a proven guy. He's an awesome wide receiver. He's tough as hell. So I wouldn't just trade him to trade him. I wouldn't even make the phone calls right now. But if you get one, Ryan Poles,
if the price is
got
right,
to do your due diligence and really think about what it may look, and especially if it's a first rounder. I think I don't think a team's going to be like, hey, I'll throw a first for DJ. But if they were, it's like, hell yeah.
I agree. If the price is right, you always make a deal. The thing is, I'm not just shipping DJ off to ship him off. Like, that's, again, the grass is not always greener on the other side. We've seen what happens with some of these teams, including the Bears, right? When they shipped off Greg Olsen, we never got a tight end reply. I know this is a little different because we have Luther Burden in the pocket, but when they made that trade, they never got a replacement for Greg Olsen. And then Greg Olsen went on to do great things with the Panthers. So, but we'll have to see. Yeah, if you get a first, though, that's remarkable. It'd have to be a team that's contending, like the Bills or something, that like lost a player.
Yeah, it'd be a deadline deal.
Yeah, for sure. Late there. So, but yeah, it's to answer your question, entertain the possibility, but we're not just like, hey, get rid of the guy. So, okay, that is it.
All right. Nope, that's all I really have. Shout out to my mother-in-law, though. It's her birthday. Happy birthday to Helen. Appreciate you. Anything else? I don't really have much. We'll be live tomorrow, right after the game. So around probably 6:30, 7 o'clock before Sunday Night Football. Hopefully on a high note, hopefully with the Bears win. But appreciate everyone that tuned in to the morning pod. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Get whatever you need to get done. And hopefully the Bears don't let us down tomorrow. So, Vic, anything else?
No, that's it, man.
All right. Bear down. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.